Mike, you made it.
Hey, Joe, how you doing? Yeah, I finally made it.
Yes, you're finally here. You had to be part of this discussion. And, I was thinking about, besides the whole thing about this G4 experience that's coming up, I was reflecting on how many hours and then days and then weeks and then months and then years that you and I have spent with our guitars on, standing next to each other on stage, not knowing who was going to play what next.
Oh, yeah.
How exciting that was. And I thought, I think maybe Mike and I have done this more than anyone else that I've done it with before. I mean, I've done a lot of G3s, but they're short, a couple of weeks here and there. But we've been on quite a few tours, and we have been doing this regularly. And I suppose as the Unstoppable Momentum tour kept going, you were out on stage next to me more and more as the tours rolled on. So I was just thinking, wow, we have a lot more to talk about as sort of like two guys who've actually done it on stage together quite a bit. Just trying to bring all of our crazy, varied guitar knowledge just right down to the moment in front of an audience. And I remember in the last G4 experience that I did that it seemed like the campers there really wanted to hear about stuff like that.
Well, first of all, I never think that it is possible to compete with anything that you've just played. Like if you do some mind-bending thing, often my natural response is to try to do exactly the opposite. Just to try to keep things fun and constantly varied and exciting for us and also for the audience. And and part of it is also just occasionally just trying to make you laugh, just with something unexpected and weird. And our melodic approaches are so different, so there's always going to be a real contrast between what we do. But it's that age-old thing of just trying to figure out what the moment requires, and let it come as naturally as possible. Trust that the amount of knowledge and awareness and technique that I've built up over the years is going to serve me in the moment. And it doesn't always do that. There are other things that come into play. Sometimes the things sound weird on stage and you can't really hear yourself or something, and that needs to be taken into account. And then it's just like try to make the best of it. But I'm always just trying to keep things interesting and fun and musical and just not fall flat on my face while I'm standing up there.
Yeah, we all share that. Yeah, we don't want to fall flat on our face.
It's kind of funny. I'm remembering a moment at the last G4 when we were playing Little Wing, and I'm hearing all you guys solo and you're all amazing. And I'm thinking, well, what are the tools that I have at my disposal here? And then I looked down and I saw there was a keyboard there. I hadn't necessarily expected that I was going to start doing this simultaneous guitar and keyboard thing that I do sometimes, and I don't often practice things to do when basically you just want to set the gain on the guitar loud enough so that you can play it with one hand and then try to play in unison or in harmony on the keyboard. And it's, I probably should take some time and figure some stuff out, but
no,
in reality, it's kind of more fun for me to just see what I can get away with, or what I can possibly accomplish in that moment. It's just like, oh, let's try to push it a little bit farther this time, a little bit farther this time. And sometimes it's really fun. Sometimes interesting things happen. And it's always just kind of like a jolt on stage because it's I'm lucky enough to have a keyboard there. I have the option of doing it sometimes. I remember the first time I did it was out of desperation at a Zappa rehearsal where we were doing this kind of an improvised piece where Frank was just pointing at people to play solos. And I was very daunted when I first got into Zappa's band because I was the youngest guy in the band and everybody else had way more experience than I did. And he just pointed at me and I was starting to play the solo and I wasn't that happy with it. And then I looked down at the keyboard and I just started, playing pretty much garbage, but in rhythmic unison. So it was just like, it almost didn't matter what I was playing. It was just the timbre of it. and the sort of the shock of the moment. And then after the rehearsal, everybody in the band came up and said, "Man, you got to keep doing that." For the next G4, I want to make sure that anybody who came to the last G4 and ventures into my room again gets something new and valuable beyond what I offered on the last one. So the thing I'm really interested in doing is like sitting down with the guitar and just figuring out some stuff that challenges me and because I was working a lot with my own repertoire and with the other music and stuff that's already previously composed. So I'm interested in coming up with some guitar concepts that stretch me in directions that I've never gone before in a more worked out and analytical way, and maybe presenting several of these ideas each day of G4. Basically, I just want to really stretch myself and then share that. Whatever information is gleaned from that research, I want to share that with people. So between now and the next G4, I'm going to be going through some rigorous self-examination and coming up with some stuff that hopefully will be illuminating.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, well, that's art.